Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio on a Monday morning. It is draft week. It's finally here. Kansas City will host the NFL draft this year. How many people are expected to attend?
NFL estimates that about 300,000 will attend it during the course of the 3 days. All begins on Thursday. Thursday's round one, and it runs for 3 hours. TV, thank you, or no thank you, whatever your decision might be. 2 rounds on Friday, and then 4 through 7 on Saturday. It's a 7-round draft, of course. And all protracted. And you know, Mike, it's interesting because the crowds will gather. I think, unfortunately, for many of them, it may be a disappointment. They're accustomed to watching it on TV and seeing the rapid order of things done. It's not the way it is live. It'll be an altogether different thing. But nonetheless, you will be there. It'll be a lot of fun, I think, for the constituency that will be there. And it is what it is. 7-round draft. We'll see who goes.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to try and trade up in the draft this year?
I would.
Yeah.
If I were Veach, I would. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. If it's there, he will. If not, we're going to wait to the end. A little racing yesterday afternoon. Who won?
Yeah, this is on the Super Speedway at Talladega, and Kyle Busch won. This is 62nd. I knew the guy had been around a long time, but this is pretty good. 62nd career victory. It happened in the second overtime, and it ended under the yellow flag. Big wreck on the final lap, cars spinning out, colliding with everybody else, and Busch held on to get the checkered flag at Talladega. So that is a big win for him and a big win for racing, and competition goes on now throughout the rest of the year.
It's already been a pretty exciting season. If you're into NASCAR, you're having a great time. It has been a lot of fun to watch. Last but not least, we've got the Stanley Cup playoffs. Going into the playoffs, the Boston Bruins were the quote-unquote best team in hockey. They still the best team in hockey?
They're 3-1 in their series, and they're going to wrap that up. So are the Carolina Hurricane. They may be a bit of a surprise in the NHL. The Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild are tied at 2 games apiece, as are the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings, both tied at 2-2. It's a best of 7, best 4 out of 7. I think Boston and Carolina come away with wins. And for the rest of it, all continues tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens. You ever ice skate?
Never.
You see, I always want to ask you that because you grew up on the East Coast. I figured they make you do. It's kind of like Canadians.
It would be more of a northern part of the northern sector around New England, and then up in the northern Midwest sector, and Canada, of course. But no, never did learn how. My brothers did, but I'm kind of a klutz.
You went for the sleds instead. Cardinals and Royals active yesterday. Who got the win?
Well, the split. Cardinals did get a win, 1 win in their 3-game series in Seattle, and got a terrific pitching performance from Jack Flaherty, and that has to be extremely encouraging to this ball club. He was very, very efficient in what he did, pitched very well, and the Cardinals matched it with some pretty good offense. Gave up the lead in the second inning when Flaherty got touched up for 3 runs, but they were the only 3 runs that Seattle scored the whole game. Cardinals win it by a score of 7-3, go down to San Francisco to face the Giants tonight. Now, the Royals out-hit the Los Angeles Angels 8-7, but didn't outscore them. That's where it counts. 4-3, the Angels won. Shohei Ohtani with 1/2 of the Angels' RBIs. He had 2 of them. That guy is really a good player. And the Angels beat the Royals, who are now 5-17 on the year. Springfield Cardinals lost their game 10-3 to the Midland Rockhounds. The Cardinals started Connor Lunn, a kid from Southern Cal, who the St. Louis Cardinals had a lot of high hopes on when they drafted him, but he hasn't come through. Got touched up for 7 runs on 7 hits in just over 3 innings of work, and Springfield loses 10-3 to Midland. Springfield is now on the road. They're going to Wichita for the next 6 games.
How about the Drury baseball team? How are they doing so far?
Drury had a little bit of problem over the weekend. They hosted Lewis University from up in the Chicago area, and Lewis won 3 out of 4. And that's, of course, the Drury's record is still 27-19 on the year, but to head into conference play, which is coming up here fairly shortly, that's not a good string to be on. Anyway, Drury loses 3 out of 4 to Lewis, and now goes to Quincy to close out the regular season this weekend. The Bears get that 3-game sweep of Belmont, and that's pretty doggone good. Belmont, a new team in the Missouri Valley Conference, and the Bears sweep them. The Bears have a nice little challenge tomorrow night at Hammons Field. It's a non-conference game. But the nationally ranked Razorbacks come into play. Arkansas and Missouri State should be interesting.
How's Arkansas doing this year?
Very, very, very
it's going to be a tough challenge for the Bears. All right. Also, we still have the NBA playoffs happening right now.
Oh, it's got a long way to go.
Oh, well, yeah, that's because everyone gets in. But who are the winners and losers?
Well, the big winner, of course, is Philadelphia because they knocked off the Brooklyn Nets in 4 games, so they're sitting back down, healing up the bumps and bruises. New York Knicks have a 3-1 lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State and Sacramento are tied at 2 games apiece. The Boston Celtics have a 3-1 lead over the Atlanta Hawks. And the Minnesota Timberwolves down 3-0 to the Denver Nuggets. Won a game that they had to, in fact, have to win all of them from here on in. Denver has a 3-1 lead, but did lose last night to Minnesota.
Like you said, it's got a long way to go. That's not a bad thing, Ned. I'll see you tomorrow.